Dodi?
Well, good morning, everyone. J. Michael Smith here in Tyler, Texas on Monday, October 6th. Beautiful day here in East Texas, but we got a lot to do today on Mentor Monday. Special guest we're going to introduce here in just a minute. Just a couple quick announcements that I do every Monday. Three things. It is the restart of the Fast Start until the end of the month. So we're going to talk about that at the end of today's meeting. So stay on till the end of the meeting. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Also, until October 31st, it's pre-sale for the convention in April. I hope many of you have already taken advantage of that. I sure have, and gotten a couple tickets for my wife and I. And then also, the other thing one last thing I mentioned is the Bountiful Harvest. If you guys have not tried that product, Judy and I were blessed to try that product a few years ago. It's great. I know Jillian's excited about that for her detox program, but try a couple bottles of the before it's limited offer. So that's one thing I'd like to recommend as well. But Dave, I'm going to turn it over to you so you can introduce our special guest today and get this Mentor Monday kicked off. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, J. Michael. Thank you. We're going to move quickly here because our special guest, Jade Ryden, she's going to be flying up to Utah for the Diamond Elite Retreat today. And so we're fortunate to have her with us. Jade is the U.S. Sales and Marketing Manager now here in the U.S. And so she's also a specialist on social media. And today she's going to be talking about branding. And so, Jade, I'm going to just pass the microphone over to you so we can get started. We're excited to have you. Thank you for joining us today, and the mic is yours.
Thank you, guys. I'm so excited to be here. I love being on your Mentor Monday. This is such a fun group. And so I'm so excited to talk to you guys about branding yourself on social media. So, of course, social media is my favorite subject. So I love talking about it and I love sharing it with you all. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. Let's see. All right. And let me know if you see it. I'm gonna put it in presenter mode.
Yep.
Everybody see it? Okay, perfect. All right. Well, let me change that. Okay, perfect. All right. So let's get started. Branding yourself on social media. People join people, not products. Your brand is you. So I love this because I think this is such an important distinction when it comes to especially network marketing. If you're joining a business like in network marketing, you want to make sure that you're not just about for life, right? Like you are your own brand. And so, that's why For Life works. That's why we are successful is because of you. And so you being able to brand yourself on social media is really what this is all about because people do join people, right? It's not just about the products, even though the products are amazing and we have an incredible opportunity. Other people are going to join because of you, because of your personality, because of the community that you build and the team that you build. So that's why I think this is so important. All right, so what is personal branding? So just a quick definition. Your personal brand is what people say about you when you are not in the room. So what do you want people to say about you, about your social media, about your For Life business on social media? Why does it matter in network marketing? People trust people before they trust products or companies, right? They can hear about a company story, they can hear about the products, but ultimately, you are the person that is that connecting point. And it also builds authority and makes you memorable when you have your own branding. So let's get into it a little more. Okay, let's start with the foundations of your brand. Step one, identify your pillars. And we've talked about this a little bit in previous trainings. Maybe a couple months ago, we talked about content pillars. So 3 to 5 things you share about consistently. So identify those pillars. Your pillars are basically your niche. They are what you talk about on social media. It could be, example, health, family, coffee, fitness, lifestyle. It can be something so small. It could be big. It can be so many different things. It is whatever you are interested in, whatever your hobbies are, whatever you want to post about. And typically, with those pillars, you can add in, if you're really passionate about entrepreneurship, that could be one of your pillars, and you could add in for life with that. One of your pillars could be health, could be fitness, and those things all go beautifully together. But it could also just be something else that's completely different, like fashion, or maybe you love to read. These are all things that are just going to connect your audience to you. And so that's why you want to have those pillars, is because those pillars are going to get the right people to you, right? Because on social media, when you brand yourself, that's what you're doing, is you are bringing in the people that are going to relate and that are going to connect with you and your content the most. So this gives structure and helps you avoid feeling salesy, right? That's why we always say, with the 10-4-1, I've talked about before, your 10 niche posts, your 4 attraction marketing posts, and your 1 power post. That's kind of the structure that helps with, when you're posting and you're not being too salesy, right? Because you want to make sure that you are posting about your life and, other things too, so that people are able to connect with you. And again, that just helps you have that know, trust factor.
Hi, Jade. Hi, Jade.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just I think we're still on slide 1, so I don't know if you were flowing the
Oh,
slides. That's
dang it.
okay. I just wasn't sure if it was from my end, but maybe just to
Okay.
help. Thanks.
Yeah, I think this happens a lot. Okay, okay, so you guys didn't see the slide. Do you want me to go through again?
No, just go from where you're talking now, so we can get
Okay,
caught up.
perfect. Okay.
No worries. Thank you.
I'll just do it this way so you guys can see. Okay, so branding yourself on social media, step 2, know your audience. So I just talked about how when you have those 3 to 5 pillars, that helps you get the audience that you want. Now you need to know your audience. Who do you want to attract? Other moms, dads, health conscious people, busy professionals? Do you want to attract, whoever it is? And if you're taking notes, you definitely want to kind of work through this, even beyond this training. And maybe it's something that you even go to ChatGPT with and ask ChatGPT, hey, I want to create, my own personal branding, and I need to know who my audience is and who I want to attract to my social media. And these are my content pillars. These are the things that I post about. And ChatGPT could even help you kind of find that audience for you and help you kind of have a strategy based on that audience. So again, who do you want to attract to your social media, right? Who are you talking to? Do you want to talk to people, that's just like you? Are you wanting to reach, a certain demographic, whatever it is? And you want to talk to them, not everyone. So what that means is your content's not going to be for everybody. Your content is going to be for your audience. And that is what creates a loyal following, a loyal audience, is when you really start to hone in on talking to that audience and making content for them. That's where you get that loyal audience from. Okay? So again, talk to them, not everyone. And I think that's really helpful too, because then you're not confused on what type of content you do, because okay, I'm creating content for this audience. Okay, so step 3 is your story. Okay, so your story is part of your personal branding. Share your why in small ways. So this is something that I haven't really talked about before, but I think that this is worth talking about, is instead of doing just one long post about your why or your story, why not break it up into smaller chunks so that 1, you get more content out of it, but 2, it helps with the storytelling of your personal brand, and it helps people along and helps them connect with you deeper because they want to know the rest of the story. So maybe you start with the struggles. Maybe you start with, something that's really relatable to people, right? And then you go on to the wins, or you go on to, this is what clicked for me, or this is the turning point, things like that. Because again, people relate and connect with people that have struggled and who have grown and that are not perfect, right? So use that in your content. It might be a little bit vulnerable, but I'm telling you, you are going to connect with more people when you share those types of things. So I would encourage you to break down your story. So whether that's 2 posts, 3 posts, or make a whole series out of it. So many of you have so much experience and in this industry, and with For Life, or even with the product, really think about how you can break it down. And again, I think ChatGPT is also a great tool for this, because it gives you kind of it can give you an outline for how to do this. So, okay. So types of posts that build your brand. So value posts. So this would be, those 10 niche posts that we've talked about before, the 10-4-1. Your value posts are going to be tips, education, motivation, your lifestyle posts, sharing your daily life, maybe sharing about your family. Then you've got your engagement posts. These could be on stories, or they could be posts. You could do polls, conversation starters, questions. This is just a way to connect with your audience through, if you're doing it through stories, they're going to DM you, they're going to, have conversations with you. And this is just a great way to further that relationship with people and with your audience. And then of course, you've got your business and product posts, where you could share your wins, your experience, your story. I think this is also a great opportunity, with your branding to, when you share your wins, share your team wins as well, tag someone in your stories that has had a win, or, even with the Fast Start Restart incentive that we have going on, you could get on your stories and say, oh, my team member just joined the restart. I'm so excited for them. They're going to unlock, over $42,000 in bonuses over this next year. I'm so excited for them. And that's all you would have to say. And that is an attraction marketing, way of speaking, because other people are going to be like, wait, over $42,000 in bonuses. That is crazy. I want to know what that is. And so again, like, you're kind of just building that curiosity. And so I think that's also a great way to utilize that. All right. So when sharing your why, so I'm going to go back to kind of like your story, your why. Think about breaking it down, right? We talked about breaking it down into a few posts. One tip for Instagram that I think is really important, and a little bit newer of a tip maybe, you can pin posts at the top of your page. Okay, so if you create an About Me post, or you create your why, or you create maybe a series of your why, I would pin them to the top of your Instagram, because this is another part of branding. If it's at the top of your page, that means it's going to be the first, there's the first 3 posts on your Instagram that's at the very top. I would utilize that space, and I would do your why, I would do an about me, anything like that. Think about 3 posts there that you can kind of break up, so that when people are going to your page, those are the first 3 posts they're going to see. What do you want your audience, or someone maybe that's just discovering you, to know about you, your journey, your why, what you post about? Just a great opportunity to kind of get that first look of your profile. And something else I do want to bring up when it comes to your profile, we've talked about this previously. I could do a whole other training on this again, but I do want to mention, you want to make sure you have a profile picture of your face so people can connect with you. And then you want to make sure, of course, that you've got a bio that is your personality, your location, because it's a connecting point. And that could be your city, or your state, whatever it is. And then again, of course, you want to have some type of a link. I like Linktree. And of course, I could show you guys how to do Linktree and all of those things in another training, but just wanted to reiterate that because I know we've spoken about the profile before, but I wanted to bring that back in quickly because I do think when it comes to what people see on your profile, you want to have those pinned posts, but you also want to have that bio and that profile picture because that is just going to help, again, visually. They're going to know, okay, I know this person's posting about this, this, and this. I know that their hobby is this, and I know what they look like and I know where they're from. Like those are just things that are going to help that person decide whether or not they want to follow you. And it's going to help them also decide if they want to click the link in your bio, if they want to DM you and ask questions. There's just a lot that goes into that first snapshot of your profile. So again, I would create 3 posts to pin at the top so that that helps people get to know your content. All right. Now, idea for sharing your why. Break it into bite-sized posts. So again, your struggles, your turning point, your wins. That's just a simple formula for how you could do it. If you wanted to share in 3 posts, let's say, you could start with the struggle, the turning point, and your win. Okay, now here's a few easy tips. Show your face often on your content. This helps people connect with you. It may feel weird at first. I know it can be weird to maybe talk to a camera or do a selfie or whatever it is, but I promise you, post with your face, just do better. They have better engagement. People feel like they're connecting with you. I highly recommend utilize that. Use stories daily. Keep it simple. This can be, again, your morning coffee, a walk, school drop off. It could be, going to the grocery store. And I know all of those things seem so maybe mundane, but that's kind of the point of social media, especially stories, is showing daily life. And they're not mundane to other people. It might be mundane to you because it's your life, but to other people, they're like, oh, that's cool. They make their coffee this way. I'm going to try that. Or, oh, they have such a beautiful walk every day, or, whatever it is, or maybe you share motivational tips every day or something like that. You figure out what works best for you, but definitely show up daily because that is also part of your branding, is that people see you every single day. You don't have to post on your feed every day, but you definitely want to post on stories every day because that's how people really connect with you. I don't know if you guys go on social media and just look at stories. I sure do. I think that we all connect the most through stories because it seems like it is more of a snapshot of people's everyday life. So you feel like you know them. You know what I mean? Like if you see somebody's highlight reel on their, just on their feed, you may not be as connected to that as you would on their stories. So highly recommend that. Another easy tip is avoid product dumping. So instead of posting a product photo, share how you use it. So an example, my go-to pick-me-up that gives me more energy than coffee. And so you have your energy go sticks. Maybe you're just drinking in a cup. Maybe you show yourself mixing it up. Again, this is just a way to connect with your audience in an attraction marketing way. You can make it specific to you. So that's part of your personal branding is maybe you have your own flair to it, your own personality. Maybe you have music going, maybe you are dancing around your kitchen, or maybe you're going for a walk and you're drinking your energy ghost sticks or whatever it is. This is just a way of showing the product, but in an attraction marketing way. So you're not just product dumping, right? You're not just showing the product all the time. But not showing how you use it, because ultimately showing how you use it and how it benefits you is what gets people interested, is what gets people curious. Because we all think that way, right? If you're on social media and you see someone using something that you're like, huh, what's that? And they're saying this does this for them. Well, I need that, right? So always think about what also makes you curious when you see people's posts. So those are just things to kind of think about. Another easy tip, make your captions conversational instead of salesy. So that means writing it out like you would be talking to a friend and then asking a question or having a call to action. This is just an easy tip to think about when you are writing a caption so that you're not just making it about selling something. So if you are talking about a product, making sure it's more conversational, it's more talking about the benefits, talking about what it does for you. And same thing if you're talking about the opportunity, the business opportunity is making it conversational, maybe having a story in there that can connect with people so that they, you know, can relate to it more, right? We all relate to storytelling. So I would definitely just be aware of that when you're writing your captions. All right, and now another last easy tip is something you might not realize is part of your branding is how you engage on your social media. So whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, wherever it is, make sure you're replying to comments and DMs quickly. Make sure you're commenting on other posts in your niche because visibility equals growth. The more people see you, commenting and, engaging, that's going to grow your following better, easier, faster. So I just really encourage you to make sure you're just replying to those comments, you're commenting on other people's posts, make sure you're commenting on your team too. So like if your team posts something, team members are posting things, maybe they're posting, just something simple with their family or whatever it is, make sure you're commenting on that as well so that you guys can really, engage with each other and support each other when it comes to that. So definitely think about this as part of your branding because you want to be known as someone who responds and is quick to respond, is somebody who, has conversations, especially in your DMs. If somebody's asking you a question or trying to engage with you about, even if it's just about your daily life and they're just engaging with you, this is what builds relationships, is that engagement. Just like before we would go more face to face and do those types of things. This is kind of the new way of doing that, is DMing people and making sure you're building those relationships and conversation. Even if it's not about for life, every conversation can lead you closer to just building that relationship. Okay, I want to give you guys a 3-day brand you quick start challenge. Okay, day 1, if you're taking notes, show your face and share your pillars. So post a photo or a short video of yourself. Again, a selfie is fine. You don't have to have, camera quality, anything, just use your phone. And in the caption, share 3 things that you love. So this would be kind of more of a about me type of post, but maybe not so long, just like 3 fun facts, 3 things you love. And it's just a selfie, or it's a video of you maybe drinking your coffee or taking a walk or whatever it is. You don't have to talk. You can just put the 3 things, on the video. But this is day 1, right? So this is something that you could do. And again, you could even pin this if you wanted to. Okay, so day 2, give value. So make sure you do a value post. So post 1 tip, hack, or piece of advice connected to your pillars. Okay, so these are things that you post about a lot or that you're interested in, your hobbies, that you're passionate about. So an example would be, here's my go-to snack when I'm on the go. So you could talk about that. So again, that's just an example. There's so many other things that you could talk about. Keep it simple so your audience sees you as helpful and relatable. Again, that's going to help you be relatable and connect you to your audience when you're sharing something that is giving value to them. Okay, day 3, share your story. So post a short version of your why. So again, you could break it down into the 3 that we talked about earlier. But example, I said yes to For Life because I wanted more energy to keep up with my toddler. It's given me blank. I'm so grateful I found this path. Okay, so you could decide what it's given you, or you know what I mean? It's given me freedom of time, or it's given me the opportunity to spend, more time with my family, or whatever it is. You can decide what that is for you. Again, keep it real, not salesy, and ultimately this builds trust. So hopefully all of this is doable. I just wanted to leave you with a challenge, because it's one thing to talk about these things and train on these things, but it's a whole other to actually put it into action. And ultimately, that's why we're training on this, is to put it into action. So I wanted to give you some action items that I hope are easy to understand and are fun. And so hopefully you'll utilize the 3-day challenge and yeah, and start posting with it.
Jade, I think that probably one of, at least for me, one of it's simple. This is simple. It really is a simple thing to do.
Yeah.
But it does take the discipline, daily discipline,
Yes.
to do it. But I think that you can we're creatures of habit. So, you just get like you're in a habit, so it's just like second nature, because you're on social media posting. And so I think one, it comes down to the discipline. And the other thing that's so important is, you mentioned earlier, people buy you,
Yes.
and this is a relationship business. And so, back in the day when I was first networking, that's one of the first things I learned, because there was no social media. It was just your ability to talk to someone and to basically paint a picture for them. So so in their mind, they can see their life changing, they can see success, but it was verbal. And then of course, maybe meeting with them at a Denny's or a coffee shop somewhere and doing what we call the napkin presentation. But you didn't have all the noise that you have today. And I would even say distractions you have today, because social media, it's everywhere and everybody's on it, pretty much. And so I think that it's still critical that as you do the posts and you start to get engagements and so forth and connecting with people, you still get to that point where we're building a community, we're building a family, we're building relationships. And so they buy you, so you still have to connect with them at some point. And that's really why we do these, brings people to the table, long distance, wherever they are. So the process is the same. It's just that we have a lot more tools, and so I think if everyone utilizes these and has the discipline to do it, you can't help but connect with people. It's going to happen.
Yeah. Right. Social media just helps you get your foot in the door, right? It helps you just build those connections with people, and ultimately so that you can build what you have here, which is a community. And, that's the deeper part of it is, social media is just allowing you to reach more people than you could ever reach. So then, you bring them in, and then you have this, and you have community, and you talk and build a team together. So I think, social media doesn't replace this ever, but it is a great tool to get here.
Right. So do you use the others as well? Like, do you use TikTok?
I have TikTok. I used to post on it more a while ago, but I haven't posted in a long time. TikTok is a totally different algorithm. than Instagram. And so I think, you know, at least for me, someone who's really busy, I like to focus on one thing at a time. So I've kind of just focused my time on Instagram, but I think TikTok is easier to grow on. I think TikTok is an easier space to grow your following, at least from what I've seen. And so I almost encourage people to really focus on TikTok because I mean, it's so wide. Like, you know
Right.
what I mean? The algorithm, it's such a wide net, I feel like, compared to Instagram.
Yeah, I think too, internationally, I think that TikTok's quite popular, probably more
Yes.
popular than even Instagram in the international markets.
Yeah.
That's what I've seen when I travel around. You know, I just did this trip. Well, for 3 months I was gone, covering 8 or 9 countries, and everyone uses TikTok.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, maybe we talk about TikTok next time.
I also think it's important. You talked about using Linktree and
Yes.
having just, you know, a place where people go where they can, you know, connect through all the different platforms. Because nowadays, you think about it, you've got LinkedIn, TikTok, you know, YouTube, you know, Instagram, Facebook, all those things.
Yes.
Uh, and then WhatsApp, of course, here in the US, we use SMS a lot. Um, but internationally, globally, WhatsApp is what everybody uses. So you can have everything in a link tree, you know, and people can connect to you, your whatever platform they want.
Absolutely.
Do that.
Yeah,
So I think on the next one, it'd be kind of nice to maybe cover that a little bit as well.
absolutely. I would love to do that.
So
Linktree, I know Linktree well.
nice. Does anybody have any questions or comments before we let Jade go? She's going to have to go get ready for her trip to Utah. Um, Let me jump over to the chat here real quick. I haven't even looked at the chat. Any questions, anybody, or any comments?
We had Cora just asking to be able to access the slides, Jade. So if you can just if you can send the PowerPoint, we can share
Sure.
them inside the inner circle.
Yeah.
Just as a reminder, the challenge is already uploaded inside the Upline Pro Inner Circle, the 3-day challenge, but the entire PowerPoint after the show, we'll make sure you get a copy of that inside the Upline Pro Inner Circle. Okay, so that
Perfect.
people can access it.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else? Dave? Do you see anybody else? I'm just looking at the chat here.
I don't see anything either.
Everybody's thanking you for everything you do, Jade. And we also have muchas scratches from Anna, always learning from you. So back to you, Dave.
Actually, Gabby had a question, and you know, we can cover this next time maybe as well. But it's basically how do you link like if you want to link your virtual shop on
Mhm.
on a post, you know, how would you do that? So if somebody is interested in wanting to see what you have to offer.
Yeah. So I would say when it comes to Instagram, you can't link on the post, but you can link on your stories. There is a link option on stories if you wanted to share to the masses, or if you just wanted to share in your DMs, you could copy it and paste it in your DMs, or you could have it in your link tree and you could just point people to your link tree. So if you had on your post on Instagram, you know, you could say, hey, you know, my link is in my bio. It's under this because you can customize your links. Or if you're on Facebook, you can actually link it on the post if you wanted to. So those are a few options.
She's actually asking about Facebook.
Facebook. So yes, you can link on a post in Facebook, but I would almost suggest giving it a call to action that says DM me for the link. Because
Perfect.
that is going to create a conversation in your DMs that's going to allow you to talk more about it rather than them just going and maybe not knowing all of the details. Does that make sense? Like,
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
so I
Yes.
I would almost suggest doing that over just linking it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know Jay Michael has his hand up too. And I have a comment about that as well. Go ahead. Go, Jay.
I might have the same one, Jillian. And Jade, correct me if I'm wrong, but once you do put a link in your post, Facebook and even Instagram changes the algorithm. If you put a
Yes.
link, Facebook and they do not want you to leave the platform. So once you put a
Right.
link in, you
Right.
get much more exposure if the link's not in the post.
Correct. Correct.
And so that's why many times I say, go to my bio. My link's in my bio. Sometimes I do, but
Yeah.
isn't that correct?
Yeah, that is correct.
And I also know, just on that note, because that's something that you all, even if you're trying to share a YouTube video or anything like that, it won't not the algorithm just drops. So anytime there's you link sharing an outside link,
Right.
so I always point people to the comments. If you just want to post your direct link, I send them in, I send, go have a look in my comments, and you'll see that a lot with all these little, I don't know if you guys have been inundated with all these little tips, these black and like these tips of, medical tips out there.
Mhm,
They
mhm.
always have this really like powerful statement, but you'll never see the link in the
Right.
the description. They always, the first thing they have in their comments is the actual article, and they always
Yeah.
point down to see the article. And that's basically what I try to do. I always put a link, but I also know I prioritize my two different markets. So I'll have a link in US and a link in Canadian. So that's what I do for something,
Yes.
for just to make it easier. But you're right. So thank you for that tip. That's a really good one. Thank you, J. Michael, as well. All right.
Awesome.
I'm going to remove myself. Okay.
Well, thank you, Jade, for taking the time to be with us today.
Of course. Of course.
We will go ahead and let you go. And we'll just kind of finish up. J. Michael, I don't know if you have any other comments or anything else.
No, I'm Jade, I always appreciate you. I love your trainings, and I follow you.
Good.
Your stories are always great. So I will say, I noticed the U.S. sales team, or For Life, has stopped posting on X, and they've got quite a few followers, but they stopped sometime back in May. I don't know what the reason is, but I'm starting to get some real traction on X. I'm approaching 30,000 followers.
That's
And
amazing.
it's kind of like TikTok in that my followers are from all over the globe.
Yes.
But I'm branding myself on it. But I just noticed that X or For Life's not, and I think there could be a future there with that, the freedom they allow on X.
I'll bring that up. Yeah, that's a really good question. I'll ask about that. That's really good. That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Thank you,
All
guys.
right. Thanks, Jade.
See you
So
next
we'll
time.
see you, we'll see you next month, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank
I'll
you.
be here.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Jade.
Okay.
Well, everyone, Jillian, I don't know if you have anything to share here.
Actually, I do, because I don't want everybody to lose sight of the Fast Start Restart program that J. Michael talked about at the beginning. And I know we're live right now, but I want to have a call of hands to see who would like to have a training this week, a mini training during the day. We're thinking on Wednesday, potentially at noon, or if anybody can show up, primarily for how to activate. Now that we know we only have the end of the month to requalify for the Fast Start Restart, right? At the end of the month is, October 31st is the last day to qualify for those that are already an affiliate. If you're brand new to the company, you can qualify like tomorrow, like just start up and qualify right away within your first 2 months of joining the company. But if you're needing some help, now that you've got the Fast Start Restart either locked in, or you only have a few more weeks to get it done, we're opening up the option of a training at noon. I just want to need a show of hands who wants to do it, and we'll try to help you understand how, now that you've got it, or now that you're committed to getting it, how do you go forward to make sure you maximize your earnings? Make sense? So I know a lot of you have already qualified. Rita, I know you're qualified. I think Casey's ready to go. I know I know there's quite a few people on my team that said, I'm doing it this month. I know Cora said she's going to do it. We've got a lot of people saying they want to do it. They're going to get it done. But then the next step is, I've done it. How do I maximize it? Make sense? Okay, so Wednesday at noon, I'm seeing a lot of thumbs up. So if we'll share inside the English team, like for WhatsApp group, the link. And come invite your friends. Let's make this a huge opportunity for everybody to rank advance and make some extra money here. Okay, So that's at noon on Wednesday. So I think I've got a good jump of you. A lot of you want to do it, but I also want to remind you of these upcoming events. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I don't know if you've seen my profile, but everything's pink on my profile right now. I'm even wearing pink. Every day I'm going to be wearing pink. There's a lot of I've come through a very emotional time right now when it comes to my family and when it comes to cancer, and I really want to pay it forward this month. So tonight we have a special detox diaries with Dr. Ronnie and Dodie. We are going to be talking about the importance of detoxing for people that are concerned about breast health. So she's going to share some tips tonight on what you can do when it comes to detoxing for breast health. A lot of people don't really know some of the things that can happen if you're not detoxing, because for those that are on this call, breast health, the breasts do not detox themselves. You need help, and we'll show you how tonight. Number two, tomorrow we have one of our advocates that actually is now finally coming forward to share her breast cancer success. And I don't like saying survivor, I like saying thriver. So Dr. Ronnie and Raquel Jones are going to share their story live tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern. And yes, part of the protocol was going to her retreat, but a big part of the protocol was the introduction of transfer factor as part of our protocol. We're going to share that tomorrow. That's inside the Good Health Stories and Solutions. So that's going to be a powerful one. And Wednesday, I'm looking forward to this. And I know I've been kind of offline for a little while because of personal reasons, but if you aren't part of the Upline Pro Inner Circle or part of Dave's Inner Circle, Dave is starting to do these private master class get-togethers, part of our legacy exchange for leaders, and it's private, so they're not recorded. It's an opportunity to learn a little bit about the business, so without fear of being recorded or being spotlighted on. But tomorrow, Wednesday, Dave's going to share some information about the For Life app. But there's an opportunity for you to come in or bring a friend to meet Dave and be able to ask those questions without fear. Like that's, I think, is huge. So I know you had a great call last Wednesday. Unfortunately, I missed it. But J. Michael, I think this is a great one. And I'm hoping Dr. Gina has a call tomorrow as well, because he has one on Tuesdays, but I'm not sure what the topic is, but I'd love to know what that is. But I shared all the events inside of our chat, but make sure you attend these things and remember, it is October Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And next month, we're going to be focusing on men's health in November. So if you have any great stories for breast cancer awareness, please let me know. We're looking for guest speakers, not only for testimonials, but for practitioners that may have a guest opportunity to contribute. And then I'm thinking ahead of time, November, right, J. Michael?
And Jillian, I don't think it's too early. And Dave, you might want to comment on this as well, because you're the one that suggested this. Both you and Jillian, is our Mentor Monday on the 20th. It's going to be a dynamite Mentor Monday. And Dave, you want to talk about it? Or Jillian, I know you've invited some doctors. Dr. Ronnie's going to be on. Dr. Regina is going to be on. Some health practitioners, some nutrition coaches, some athletic. We're going to have a dynamic on the 20th. You might want to talk a little bit about that, and we can start promoting that.
I'm going to share go ahead, Dave. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, we're focusing a lot on science this month. And one of the reasons is because of the new transfer factor discovery, which is called phytofactor, that will be included with the ultrafactor, ovofactor, and nanofactor to give us a new product that we'll be launching next year. And so even the company now, they're talking a lot about the science. There's a very interesting history behind transfer factor, its discovery, it's how it's evolved over the years, all the various patents and so forth. And I think that people sometimes really don't understand the impact transfer factor has on our lives, on our health, And so we are focusing on the science, and we're going to have on the 20th, we're going to have Monica Costa from South Africa. She's a nutritionist, and she educates and teaches a lot of other nutritionists. And she loves transfer factor, so she talks a lot about transfer factor. She'll be with us. We'll have Dr. Ojina, Robert Ojina. Correct me if I'm wrong, Doc, but epidemiologist from Nairobi, Kenya, studied in the UK. He's been with us for a while and has a great understanding of transfer factor. In fact, Dr. Ojina, if you don't mind unmuting your mic, what is tomorrow's health talk? What is the topic for tomorrow? Every Tuesday you do health talk, and you have a particular topic that you share, and it's incredible information, to share with people on their health. But what is tomorrow's topic?
Tomorrow is supposed to be on infectious disease, but because we postponed last week's topic, which was chronic fatigue syndrome, so we're going to do chronic fatigue syndrome tomorrow.
Okay. Chronic fatigue syndrome. I am familiar with that. I was diagnosed back when I was 30 years old with Epstein-Barr virus. And so I have some experience with that myself. Great. Okay, so chronic fatigue syndrome tomorrow. But Dr. Ojina will be with us on the 20th. And then we have Dr. Ronnie DeLuce. Dr. Ronnie has been on CNN, The View, on national television here in the US. And she specializes in detox. And just, in fact, Jillian's, very familiar with Dr. Ronnie. She's known her for quite a long time and has worked with her a lot. So, and then myself and Jillian will be there. So it's going to be a bit of a roundtable, discussion we'll be having on transfer factor. It'll be interesting because there'll be 5 of us. And so we're going to move pretty quickly, but I'm looking forward to it. So Jillian?
Yeah, I do. And there right now, the blanket topic is immunotherapy. Is this the answer to better health? I don't know if you've seen this all over social media, with all those snippet tips. They do talk about immune health a lot on how it can help you and as a preventative measure. Or I think it's the anchor for everything when it comes to health. So I think it's a great opportunity to talk about the phytofactor and all the transfer factor and what's happening with that. I do want to mention too, you did mention Dr. Ronnie, I did show my wall and I will put it inside the group. There was a new documentary that came out that talked about a client of hers that went to Martha's Vineyard, and she's doing an expose on breast cancer health. And it was absolutely powerful. She is also the person who is a client was connected to RFK Jr. And you'll see on the documentary, if you watch the documentary, it's from Poster Girl. Her name is Gail, and she recently this summer, or just last summer, went to the Martha's Vineyard retreat, and she was also introduced to what we have for immune health transfer factor. So it's a really interesting dynamic, and it really interesting to see that connection happening in an indirect way. I mean, obviously I can't say, too much, but please take the time to watch it. I think it's going to be powerful for the business, because of the connections and the people in that video. Okay. I think I just wanted to share that. So take some time. I have it on my wall and we will be sharing. I'll share it inside the inner circle as well. Okay, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Jillian. Well, thank you everybody for joining. I don't know if there's any more comments before we finish today. We'll finish a few minutes early. It's always fun to have Jade with us. We'll have her again next month. And so there's a lot to learn. So let's keep going and let's keep growing. So thanks everyone. Let's unmute the microphones here real quick. And invite. All right. Let's keep inviting people, building our community. Love you guys.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Keep going, keep growing.
Keep sharing. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.